Nick Saraev is one of the best automation teachers on YouTube, and he recently created an N8n automation masterclass. This series that you're watching right now is my attempt to execute on every example in Nick's class. So without the explanations, just my experience learning what Nick teaches. I highly recommend taking his class. This is lesson 2 from Nick Saraev's N8n mastery class. Lesson 2 starts with a form submission. The form comes from a native N8n form creator. We pass the input to an OpenAI in order to create an email responding to the person who filled out the form. This is how to create an email based on a form submission. The first step for lesson 2 is from the workflow area, click the Create Workflow button. Then we're going to add a note explaining what we're doing. I'm going to hover over the plus button and then the note icon appears. I click that and my note shows up. I left click drag the note to the left, and I double click it in order to edit it. What I pasted in here is email plus form course and then a link to Nick's course to the lesson. We're doing a form fill autoresponder. Trigger is on form submission. I'm going to put my cursor in the canvas in order to click out of the note. And I'm going to add the first step, click on the plus button, and I'm going to scroll down to on form submission. This gives me a form to create a native N8n form, and we're going to fill out these fields now. We're not going to use authentication because the person filling out the form does not need to log in. And the form is for onboard submission. So we're going to say onboard submission. And the form description is onboarding form for the Carroll report. Fill out the fields and our team will get back to you shortly. After that, we're going to add a form element. This will see, and the field name will be first name. First name. The type is text, and the placeholder, I'm going to put my name, and it is a required field. I'm going to click Add Form Element for the last name. In the field name, I type last name. The element type is text, and the placeholder is my last name, and it is a required field. I'm going to click Add Form Element again. I'm going to put email as the field name. I'm going to select the type as email, and the placeholder is going to be my email. This is a required field. I'm going to click Add Form Element again. I'm going to put phone number. I'm going to leave it as type text, and I'm going to put a fake phone number, and then I'm going to click Required Field. Then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to leave Respond when form is submitted because that's what we want. I'm going to click on Add Option at the very bottom. I'm going to click Append N8n Attribution and turn attribution off. Then I'm going to select outside of the field of the canvas, and I'm going to save this workflow. Next, we'll add the ChatGPT module that will take the submitted form data and turn it into an acknowledgement email. I'm going to click the plus sign to the right of on form submission, and I'm going to search for ChatGPT. You could also search for OpenAI. I'm going to click OpenAI, and then I'm going to look at Message a Model and select it. I'm going to create an account with OpenAI, ChatGPT, by right-clicking the credential to connect with, clicking Create New Credential, and then I'm going to click on Open Docs. That's going to take me to create an OpenAI account. I'm now on auth.openai.com/create an account. If you already have an account, you can click to log in here. Okay, then you're going to click on Dashboard, and then you'll scroll down on the left side and click API Keys. Click Create a New Secret Key, give it a name, click Create Secret Key. I will delete this before the video is published. And then go back to your OpenAI account screen in N8n and paste your key, and then click Save. Now that we have a ChatGPT connection, we will create our scenario. Resource is text, operation is message a model. We'll use the model GPT-4o, and then for the first prompt, make sure that the role is set to system, and we will say you're a helpful, intelligent email writing assistant. For the next step, we'll add a user message. The default role is user. Now we'll construct the message to ChatGPT. First part of the message is your task is to customize an email using the following data. Now, the next thing we're going to do is drag in the fields, and then we're going to modify the prompt to be a little easier to read. But it's easier for me, I found, to drag the fields in first, press return after each one. Sometimes then it's not even that easy. Last name, email, and phone number. And then I'm going to go back and give a little prefix to each one. First name, last name, email, phone number. Then I'm going to hit return a couple times. Next, I'm going to add the email template. So I'll put a few hyphens in between the data and the email template. So ChatGPT knows that the fields from the form are the input data. And then I'm going to say, and this is the email template that you're going to create as output. And it's going to say, hey, first name, comma, and then 2 returns, how are you? And then 2 returns. Thank you for submitting your onboarding form. I see your number is, and then I give it a placeholder phone number. This is not the same as the braces above. This is just an indication that we want ChatGPT to fill in the blank. And your email is email. Could you please let me know if I'm missing anything? Thank you. And then this is my signature. If I look down in the result, I see that I get no fill-ins. It doesn't fill in the blanks because these are not variables like these are. These we dragged in, first name, last name, email, and phone number. We dragged them in from the previous output, and they are actually variables. I'm going to click outside the prompt to get rid of that field. And then I'm going to keep the simplify output because we don't want metadata. I'm going to click my cursor on the canvas and then click save. Next, we need a Gmail module in order to send the person who filled out the form the email that OpenAI created. In order to do that, we can copy the Gmail from the previous lesson, or we can create a new one using the plus sign on the right hand of our workflow. Let's look at copying the previous one. If you did lesson 1 from Nick's course, you have a Gmail module that you can copy. I'm right-clicking and clicking copy. And even though when I right-click on the new canvas, I don't have a paste, I can Control-V or Command-V on a Mac, and I can get that Gmail module. I'm clicking Shift and dragging in order to delete, hit the delete key to get rid of that one. Let's do it from scratch. I'm going to click the plus sign, and then from the choices, I'm going to click on Gmail, and then from Gmail, I'm going to click on Send a Message. Now, Send a Message has no input from the previous step, and I did it this way on purpose because the first time I ran through this, I forgot to run the ChatGPT module, and I had no input, and I wanted to show you what that looked like. So in the first step is going to be to connect your Gmail account. If you don't already have a connection, click the link in the description to lesson 1 where we create a Gmail connection, or go to Nick's masterclass where he explains how to do it, which is also, the link for that is also in the description. We're going to leave the resource as a message. The operation is send, but we don't have a to field. We haven't connected it yet. So I'm going to click off of the input fields into the canvas, click save, then I'm going to right click on OpenAI and I'm going to say test step. Then, importantly, I'm going to connect OpenAI to our Gmail because that was not done before either. I double clicked on the Gmail module to open it up again. Now I have the output from the previous steps, the form submission as well as OpenAI. My to field is going to be the email from the person who created the form. I'm going to drag that into the to field, and it creates this JSON for me. And if I look at the result, it resolves to the email address I used to fill out the form. I'm going to click outside the prompt box to get rid of that. The subject is going to be hard-coded onboarding welcome. I'm going to make the email type text because I found that if you make it HTML, it all runs together. unless you actually use HTML. And then the message is going to be the output from ChatGPT. So I'm going to click content and drag that into the message field. Then I get a sample of what this data looks like, subject confirmation of your onboarding information. Well, that's a problem. I don't want the subject to be part of my message, so we'll have to go fix that. And then we'll say, hey, Carolyn, how are you? Thanks for submitting. I see your number is 603 and your email is caroline.bogart. Could you let me know if I'm missing anything? Thank you, Caroline, at the Carol Report. So everything is perfect except it added a subject to our content, which is not in a form that is easily parsed, or I might have used it in up here as confirmation of your onboarding information. I think if we go to JSON, we did not ask for a JSON output, and so the content just contains the entire string. So let's go fix that. I'm going to select off of our input onto the canvas, double click on OpenAI, and I'm going to add an instruction that says using the following data. Your task is to customize an email. Please return. No, don't say please. Costs Sam Altman a lot of money if we say please. You must output the email body and not the subject or other metadata. Use the following data. All right. Then I'm going to click test step. Hey, Carolyn, how are you? Good, we got rid of that. So then I'm going to click off into the canvas. I'm going to click save, and I think that we can now test our workflow. And let's go look at our email. And we did get an email, and it says onboarding welcome. And I forgot to turn off the N8n attribution, but the rest of our email looks pretty good. And even though we didn't do HTML, we got line breaks, and we got a clickable link for the email. Next, we're going to add some fields to our form in order to make this example a little bit more real world. In our onboard submission form, we will go down below the fields we already have, and we will add a new field, and this one will be design preference. It will be of type drop-down list, and then options will show up, and the options that we're going to add are sleek, minimalistic, luxurious, and playful. Go to the bottom of the form and click add option and click button label, and then you can change the button label. Let's get started. And you can test the step at this point. We're going to fill in my information as if I were a customer. We're going to do a sleek website. Next, we'll use the data that the customer submitted by opening the OpenAI module node, not module node, and we're going to change the user prompt. This is what it looks like now. Your task is to customize an email. You must output the email body and not the subject or other metadata. Use the following data. Now, this is the same data we had, but now we're going to add design preference, and we will slide in the design preference from the left. Then we're going to add in company description, and we'll pull in the company description and requested delivery time. Then in our email template, hey, first name, how are you? Thank you for submitting your onboarding form. Now this is the first use of AI, which is I love reading about your, and then in braces say unique restatement paraphrase of the company description. Then say, I see you're looking for a parameter design preference, sort of site, and you're looking to have it done in parameter timeline. A little hard to get this to show on the screen. There we go. Okay, now you can see it. Whoops. And would you mind confirming your? Okay, now you can see it. Whoops. Now let's test this step. Now we get, hi Carolyn, how are you? Thanks for submitting your onboarding form. I love reading about how your company creates widgets that bring joy to celebrations. I see you're looking for a sleek sort of site and you're looking to have it done in 1 to 2 months. We can pin our ChatGPT data and I'll click on the canvas. Next, in order to not seem desperate, we're going to add a wait node, and we're going to click the plus sign, start typing WA, wait. We're going to say wait for 2 minutes, and then we'll click test step, which will wait for 2 minutes, and then we're going to say wait for 2 minutes, and then we'll click test step, which will wait for 2 minutes, and then we will click on the canvas. In order to use this, we need it to be before the Gmail module, so we're going to click delete on the line that connects Gmail to wait. We'll click delete between OpenAI and Gmail. Then we'll click OpenAI to wait and wait to Gmail. Then I'll click the broom to tidy up our workflow. And then I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to ask it to stop executing the workflow. So let's test the workflow. Okay, after 2 minutes, our workflow finished. Let's go look at our email. We have a new onboarding welcome. I love reading about how your company creates widgets that bring joy to celebrations. And that was lesson 2 from Nick Saraev's masterclass in N8n automation. Links are in the description.